evening.
Hey, we're back. Wednesday night conversations.
It's back. We're back in the room.
We're excited to be back with you guys, and thanks for joining us.
We have got a new venue, a new setup, and same old lockdown.
Yeah.
But we're glad that you're able to join us. We might be a little bit rusty getting going. Good to see some of you guys joining. DJ, it's great to see you in South Africa, even though you are responsible for the mutation in this country. It's great to see people joining. DJ, it was his birthday the other day as well. Malcolm Knight in Manchester. That is one of Caleb's favourite all-time people. Malcolm, you are. Every time I mention your name, he smiles because Malcolm Knight. If you check him out on Instagram, he is a brilliant photographer. He's like exceptional. So
We've got so many devices happening here. We're streaming onto YouTube and Facebook and also Instagram. So forgive us if we're not looking directly at you.
We're looking all over the place.
We're just everywhere. I'm trying to look on Facebook at who's watching.
It's crazy.
Goodness me.
It's crazy. But the beginning of 2020, that was the year. We had no clue how to do any of this stuff other than do a little bit of Instagram. But just great. It's great to be here. Glad that you're joining us. It is 8 o'clock, and I know there might be things on TV that you think you want to watch a bit later. Most of us have got ability to record. Why don't we just hang out just for 45 minutes, 50 minutes? We're going to try and keep it fun. We're going to try and let you know a little bit about what we're planning over the next few months. We've got an interesting little conversation going on in a short while about routine and rhythms, which we have a bit of a difference of opinion, so it could get a little bit
interesting.
Could get interesting. So we hope that you stay with us. Like, subscribe, send some comments in the chat if you're on YouTube. Do all those things. I think we're all pretty au fait with all those kind of things now. But we can't believe that we're here again.
It's good to have people with us. So it's good to have Kath Collins with us, and Reese is watching. Reese Collins.
Wow.
And also
Reese.
Alex Hurrell, good to see you as well. And Wolf is on. Wolf is watching.
Wolf is on. That must mean that Liverpool are not playing football, because otherwise he'd be watching.
He's probably doing both. Some men can multitask.
But yeah.
Not all. Some.
So let us know if you're watching, especially if you're on YouTube. Don't be like a secret watcher on YouTube. Just put something in the chat. Let us know that you're watching. If you're on YouTube, just drop it in there. You can't do anything wrong with us. We're just, tonight is relaxed, is laid back.
That's what Wednesday night conversations
are. It's all about just chilling out.
I just realised, look, we're like twinning, but the other way around. And that I literally just noticed that.
I got ready.
No, you did not.
Second.
What
we did. Sarah was excited tonight. She's got dressed up for the first time.
I actually put some makeup on and
put new Christmas presents
on. New presents on.
Yeah.
So good.
Christmas was a distant memory, I guess. I don't know what. Did anybody get anything really, I don't know, just like super interesting for Christmas?
Tell us what you got for Christmas. The thing is, like, because we didn't actually meet on Christmas Day, we didn't get to see people, because normally people come to church in their new clothes and the new bags and all those things, and we missed that this year. I actually really missed that. Did you? Like seeing everybody on Christmas Day.
I don't feel like I've seen anybody to really talk to for a long time. So
it's been a while.
If you've got anything interesting for Christmas, let us know.
Yeah. Also,
we're open to being a recycle centre, so if you had things for Christmas that somebody bought you that you don't really like, and you kind of want to put it somewhere, drop us a message, let us know, we'll make use of it. We'll either recycle it into church life, or we'll put it into our wardrobes at home. It's good to have Alex Hurrell as well on from Scotland. That was my best Scottish accent I just did then. People from all over the place joining. Abby, good to see you.
It's good to see Amy Morgan's on.
So I'm not. Yeah, I know Amy from many
years ago. It's good to see you, Amy. Thanks for joining us on Facebook.
So good, George, who should be at university in Loughborough, Titchley, who is at university. There's all sorts happening, really. Just good to. It feels good for us. I don't know about you, but it's just good to be on here, just to connect with people from church, some of our friends from around the country. great just to see Ben just jumping on just quick there. Ben Dowding, one of our board members, was for the last few years from Influence Church in the north of the country, North Yorkshire. And I know that Ben and Gail, you guys have had a really difficult season these last few weeks or so. You've been ill yourselves and had some difficult times in church. And our thoughts and prayers are with you guys, especially tomorrow, a difficult day.
Yeah.
But we're glad that you can kind of just join us just for a short period of time. It's great, isn't it? Like,
it is.
we can all get together, but we're all so separate. It's amazing. So
it's a family affair in here tonight. So there's us two and both of our kids running this whole thing, and nobody else here.
like, what would we have really done if our kids had not really embraced
Oh my
what we were
gosh.
doing? And like, tonight we're using Restream, I think it is, Caleb, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, we're using Restream. We're doing all sorts of things that we would have no clue to do. But thank God for our kids that are doing a great job for us. Lily's looking through all the stats and making sure that we know that you're watching. Good to see the Needhams are on here saying, let's crack open the Ovaltine. I literally, this week, I've had 2 new converts to Ovaltine. If you want to have a peaceful...
He's an influencer now. My
This is
husband
my
is an influencer.
influencing the people in the 40s.
Influencing them to buy Ovaltine.
Ovaltine just helps at night.
It's a win.
It does.
I'm not even joking. As soon as his head hits the pillow, he is a goner.
See,
It definitely works.
You asked this man, right? Rob Bartle's on here. Rob Bartle, who runs Auto Select Cars, I think it is, in Chesterfield. If you need to go and buy a car,
Nice car.
see Rob. Rob Bartle, I think, would be a man that would enjoy an Ovaltine at night time. I think
Probably
he would
would be.
Definitely.
I am just going to give a shout out to Lucy Shaw, who has joined us on Facebook.
Wow.
So if you look into that camera, we've got a message for
Lucy.
Lucy Shaw.
Lucy Shaw, I have not seen Lucy Shaw for a number of years. Lucy Shaw, literally, her family were part of our family
Amazing.
for a great number of years ago. If anybody's on here from youth, from back in the day, you'll know the Shaw family. They were amazing. They were the most fun people that you could ever
We
meet.
loved having you guys in our youth group.
I think they had 9 children in their family, and every Christmas we made it a point to go to their house on Christmas Day just to visit it. And boy, if you wanted a party, that was a place to go. So great to see you, the Shaws,
So
the
good.
Hyams. Titchell is on here as well. He's
And my friend from school's watching, Claire Marsh. It's good to see you, Claire.
yeah. So we got a few things we've got lined up. Is we're going to do a little quiz soon.
A quiz.
We are going to do
The
a
quiz
quiz.
of all quizzes.
We've called it the quiz of all quizzes because we need to keep people engaged, because we know that you might be like, oh, this is so...
Boring.
So we've called it the quiz of all quizzes, and the prize is, there is a prize.
So the prize is, depending who wins it and where you live, that's what the prize is going to be. We will decide what the prize will be depending who wins it.
So for instance, if
That's why it's the quiz of all quizzes.
if
'Cause we just make it up as we
DJ
go.
wins it in South Africa,
We can't
as much as I love the guy, I'm not driving to his house to get a cake there, because we'd have to produce a Top Gear episode to do it.
that
and
would
it's-
be fun.
But we would get him a cake somehow into his country, wouldn't we? But we'll do it. So we've got a quiz of all quizzes. We want you to take part in that. We've got a few interesting little bits. We've got a little bit of a debate. We'll probably be through by, I don't know, 8:50. And then you'll be able to go make your Ovaltine, go make your cocoa, sit down.
Just for the record, I don't drink Ovaltine.
Somebody other than
Maybe I should.
Somebody other than my mum on here has also put that they have actually recorded Coronation Street to watch this tonight.
Well, I feel honoured.
I mean, Coronation Street, I think, was on for 60. It was a 60-year. Was that right, Caleb? 60-year celebration. Was it just recently? 60 years. Caleb is our stato. He knows everything about anything. But 60 years, Coronation Street has been on TV.
It's crazy.
My mum's never missed an episode. But tonight, I'm hoping that she's recording it and watching this. So, Mum, please let me know that you're watching it and not Coronation Street. I'd be mortified if you drop me for Coronation Street. I'd be devastated.
Well,
And plus, Mum is going through another round of chemotherapy at present as well. So, Mum, hopefully you're on there, and we love you.
we do.
Love you.
So tell us
That
what's
was quite
coming up.
emotional, wasn't it? It's quite emotional.
Emotion.
So I think we've said what's coming up, but yeah.
So Wednesday night conversations. We started Wednesday night conversations back in the
Back in the day.
back in the day, almost a year ago. It's hard to believe. We started them because obviously we were all at home in an evening, and we just wanted to connect with you and just be, feel like we'd had you out for coffee. And so we started. I don't drink coffee. This is true.
Never take up an invite from Sarah to come to our house for coffee, because she will never make you a cup of coffee.
I'm rubbish.
I could count on one hand in the last 5 years the amount of times that Sarah has actually made me a cup of coffee.
Now you're making out like I'm a bad wife now.
No, I'm just making out the point. Don't come to our house for coffee.
But let's just clear it. It's because I don't drink to your coffee, so I never sit and think, ooh, fancy a brew, because it's just not something that I do. So yeah, if you come for a drink, you have to ask for one, unfortunately.
So as soon as the lockdown's over, make your way to our house and pester Sarah for a cup of
make you a
coffee.
cup of coffee.
There we go.
I don't even know how to use a coffee machine, but Kayla will make you one. But anyway, yeah. So we started Wednesday night conversations just to bring a little bit of us into your front room, and because we are.
Gosh, that's a bit of it.
Because we are in lockdown again, we wanted to rekindle
Bring sparkle.
Wednesday night conversations.
Sparkle.
So here we are. We're back in your front room,
Yeah.
and hopefully we're going to have some conversations that are going to inspire you, perhaps challenge you, but we always want to have some fun. We are planning some special guests.
Very
We've got
special.
some special guests planned in.
They
and,
are that special, they don't even know they're coming on here.
Well, there you go.
So,
We
that's
know
how
we're going to
special they are.
ask.
Yeah.
And we know that they'll say yes. So make sure that you keep it as a priority on Wednesday night. Tune in to Wednesday night conversations, and let's hope we have some fun. But one of the things that we always used to do was Paul would bring us an interesting news article from the day.
We're losing.
So people are leaving right now. So have you got a interesting news item for us?
So one of the things really good for us, one of the things we're really big on is there's so much happening in our world now, there's so much negativity. One of the things we always used to do was to try to look beyond some of the classic news headlines that there is. I had a look at the news headlines just recently, and let's say it's not too positive, but hopefully we'll get there. And we used to look at things, and today I was looking through the news, I scrolled through, and I don't know if anybody's seen it or not, but it's really worth reading about, because I found it actually, this wasn't just like a funny thing, I found it really inspirational. There is a solicitor or a criminal prosecutor working, let me get this right, he's working in Italy, and when he was a young boy, he witnessed quite a lot of murders, or it would be regular for him to see people dead on his way to school. Due to the Italian mafia. So there's this whole thing for all his life. It tells you in this article, we've read it, you find it on most news things. He's actually been pushing as a criminal prosecutor to get this huge gang of mafia people taken down, like prosecuted. And he's had lots of people tell him that he should stop doing it, he should stop it, he should not do it any longer. And he has now got the case ready. There's 350 of the mafia are going to be brought to trial. People are saying to him, stop doing it, you shouldn't do it, your life's in danger.
They're like calling him a dead man walking.
He's lived his whole life, pretty much the whole of his life, he's lived in security, he's had private security. He said that they've sacrificed normal living.
He's married with kids, yeah.
He's got children. Yeah. He said they would never do some of the things that we would be used to doing. He has set his whole life with the goal of bringing these people to justice. Gosh. That are murdering people, robbing people. And there's this huge case going on. They've actually built a separate bunker to host the whole case, where there's like 1,000 different people going to be in the room. It's going to last for 2 years, and people are saying to him, are you sure you want to do this? Do you know who you're messing with? And he says these words, right? He said, so think about your life, the context of what you're doing. Any sacrifice or any risk is overcome in the conviction of being right, and it is useful to the freedom of people. any sacrifice, any risk is overcome with the conviction of being right, because he's so convinced that these people are criminals, they're some of the worst people out there, and also useful for the freedom of people. And I found it, I was blown away by the fact that he's put his whole life into seeing criminals taken off the street, despite all the risks, all the threats. And part of me, if I'm honest, I thought to myself, wow, what it would be like if we lived in a country currently where everybody thought about living for other people rather than just for themselves. And sadly, at present, boy, we can't even stick to a few basic rules at present, which appears the case in this country, which is a complete confusion to most people. So if you are currently watching this, you need to feel like the heat coming right now, because we need to live like this guy. You'll find it his name, criminal prosecutor. He's given his whole life to see the mafia taken off the streets of Italy in this particular area.
I wonder if we'll get flagged up because you said the
mafia will a few times.
We'll maybe get it'll be on to get flagged up somewhere and come after.
But if we could give our lives, our sacrifice was to follow a few basic, so basic rules, we could really progress as a country.
It's true.
But we're all suffering because we don't want to get too political on issues. We're not very good at politics, really.
I do find it really difficult though, because in the first lockdown I felt like everybody pulled together. And everybody got each other's backs and everybody was being really kind to each other. Whereas this time, I don't know, it just feels a little bit more tense.
Are you allowed on Wednesday, I looked at Caleb, on Wednesday conversations, are we allowed to have a little bit of a critique or a moan about something? Can I get a thumbs up or thumbs down? It's given. Whatever. That's kind of the usual response. One of the things I don't get is, why do people use social media to be negative and to criticise? I get it, and please bombard me with your thoughts and comments about it, but I'm just why don't we pull together, why don't we unite, let's get through this thing and let's get rocking in the world again. I want to get church moving again, we want to get doing all sorts of things within this community, I'm sure you do, your business, your home life. So let's up the ante on sending some positive stuff out there on social media.
I think the thing is, as well, if you do something positive for someone else, it actually changes your day. It changes your week. So if you can this week almost have a challenge for yourself where you bring a smile to someone, just bring a smile to someone every day, whether it's a text or a phone call, or you just, you're in a supermarket and you comment on somebody's, I like your coat, or, I like your hat. But actually it makes your day go better. It does make your day go better, for sure.
I was out running 2 nights ago. Yeah. 2 nights ago, I went out running. It was late at night. Well, late. It sounds real rock and roll. It was 8 o'clock. It wasn't late.
It's not late.
I was out running 8 o'clock. I saw this guy in front of me. I think I'm going to catch him, because that's what I'm like when I'm on the road. So I caught this guy up. I got alongside him. I looked at him. He looked at me. We were socially distant. Don't worry. If there's COVID police on it, we were socially distant. We were I was definitely apart. Plus, I've got clothes on that I've been wearing for a few days running, so they probably smell as well. So I kept distant.
Really nice.
So we were distant. I looked at him. He looked at me. It was really emotional, and I just said to him, I said,
that's a little bit of a stretch, really. I don't think it was an emotional moment looking at another runner on the street.
Well, anyway. It sounds good.
Yeah,
exactly. So he looked at me. I looked at him. Our hearts melted.
Let's not do that.
Stay away from it. But he looked at me and I just said hi. I said, how are you doing? I said, how's it going? You training? And we had this little conversation. We got chatting and we ended up running together for 10, 15 minutes. I got to know a little bit about what he does for a living. He found out that I lead a church in Chesterfield. He then says to me, drops the bombshell and says, do you know what? What's really strange is I've actually watched you on YouTube on some Sundays, because I know somebody that comes to your church. And it was a really bizarre, but I thought I could have easily ran past him to show my masculinity and just bombed past him to make him feel like he was slow. But I stopped, we had a chat, we spent 10, 15 minutes So whatever you're doing in life, we've got loads of restrictions, but there's many ways we feel that we can just let's just give a bit of an uplift to what's happening in our country at present. Everybody says we want to be great again. Well, this is the opportunity
we've got a chance, yeah. Like we have got an amazing opportunity at our feet.
Let's not fight each other.
Let's lift each other up.
Let's push each other's bottoms up. Yeah, something like that. See, somebody put some hearts on there at that moment. So that's a little bit of thinking.
I think it is difficult. You just
a man is put his life on the line to bring the mafia off the streets of Italy.
Yeah.
He's doing it. He's not complaining about the mafia. He's not just saying the mafia have always existed and they're always run. He's worked his socks off, sacrificed his family, his own pleasures, I guess, to do something that's going to make a difference. And we've got an opportunity to make some difference now. So come on, let's do it. Let's do it. That's why we're on Wednesday nights, and we're going to talk about some of the contentious things.
That was a really big word for you, actually.
Well, I'm currently doing a master's, so I have to use big words.
So I've got an update on who's watching. I think Paul Garner's been watching on YouTube.
Paul Garner. Now, if Paul Garner was still on here, let me know if you are still on here, Paul, because I know that you'll be frequenting Instagram for a few different things.
It's not Instagram, he's on
Instagram, YouTube. I don't know where he is. But if he is out there, Paul Garner, I texted him over Christmas because I was watching Chris Martin from Coldplay. And if you've ever seen Chris Martin lead Coldplay, the band, Paul Garner, I believe, has taught him everything he knows. He is a phenomenal, got a huge stage presence. Check out Lifehouse Church and watch.
And also we've got this guy called Chris Fraser is watching. It's good to have you watching us, Chris. So Chris Fraser is the guy that used to work in the old Lidl on the checkouts.
Okay.
Do you remember him?
Sure.
You can't remember, can you?
Yeah.
I remember.
Chris Fraser. Yes, I do know you.
Really friendly guy, really nice guy. So he's on as well.
What's really good that somebody's just waved at us on Instagram here is this is good, but it's non-league terrace. So non-league terrace is an Instagram, what do you call it? Page? Instagram. Okay. Yeah, an Instagram person. Non-league, but it's about non-league football, and the reason that they're probably engaging with me is because I follow Chesterfield Football Club that are currently a non-league football club. So please, non-league terrace, put me some hearts in the, make the hearts appear on the screen, because Chesterfield, we need to get out in non-league football, we really do. But great to have you with us, non-league terrace. DJ's agreeing with me about Paul Garner as well. He's phenomenal. So what we're going to do is, how we're going to do this, Lily, we're going to get everybody to, Lily is our beautiful assistant, just offset here. We're going to do, yes, see, they gave me some hearts, because they're passionate about Chesterfield getting down to non-league football. I'm doing my best to be positive about the football situation at present, but I'll not talk about football. So we're going to do this quiz. Anybody can take part in it. It's the quiz of all quizzes. I've said that as animated as a possibly could. Quiz of all quizzes. All you need is a pen and a bit of paper, or a device that you can just write your answers down on. Yeah, right?
That's usually our quiz works. Yeah.
Could just do with Paul Garner now to play the keyboard in the background while we do the quiz, because it sounds like a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit. Can you play keyboard, Caleb?
No.
I think you should learn. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 10 questions, the quiz of 2020. It's all about 2020. There's 10 questions. We're going to do it super quick. We want you to take part, and you might think, oh, I'm not very good at quizzes, but just have a go at it.
I'm not very good at quizzes.
And let's see where we go.
I think for me, I love the idea of the quiz, but I just don't retain information that's not important to me. So like a general knowledge quiz, I'm just a bit like...
Well, we're going to do a quiz.
Not like Caleb.
It's like...
Caleb remembers the most random
We're bringing like the quiz of the week. We could do... Yeah, Amanda, we could do quiz of the week, apart from...
We'll have to think of a quiz every week.
We'll need to get a quiz master. So we've got 10 questions.
Quiz master. Yeah, that's
what we need to do is to jot your questions down, jot your answers down, and then at the end of this, if you're still hanging in with us, because we've probably got 20 20, 25 minutes left. At the end of this, we're going to get your answers, dump your answers on either Facebook, Instagram or YouTube, and we're going to find a winner and we're going to pick a prize for you.
So what we don't want you to do is to,
Google.
as we read a question out, is to type the answer in the chat right away. We want you to just kind of like put all your answers together. But we're trusting you not to cheat.
Just put things like easy or so easy.
Yeah, but don't cheat. Like, if you cheat, there's no point.
We do have a rule, and you do know that we are both church pastors. We do have a rule that anybody that cheats and you do it in public like this, like
wrath of God.
we're just saying lightning strikes, watch out for them. That's all we're saying. And we don't need any of that. Do we?
Definitely not.
We don't need no lightning.
No,
I don't like
I
lightning
think
either, so please
we're
stay
good.
away from
I
that.
think we're good for that.
So here we go. So here's our quiz. Quiz of all quizzes. We're doing this quiz thinking there's 1,000 people listening to this. We know there's probably about 50, 60 people, but not 1,000. But we're going to do it like it's the quiz of all quizzes. Ready?
So
here we
ready?
go. What date was the first UK lockdown announced by Boris Johnson? What was the first lockdown date that we had? When did we begin lockdown the first time? Back in when it was.
Don't tell them that.
There you go.
That's kind of the answer.
Come on, let's keep this going. Let's keep this going.
Go on then.
Yeah?
Next question.
Like Ellen's just saying, Ellen Taylor, she was in Wales. We could do Welsh accents and everything, couldn't we?
Oh, I don't think so. No, don't.
Boyo,
Please don't.
or the valleys, the boyos.
Please stop.
Anyway.
I'm sorry, Ellen. So bad.
But she said it's the most excitement that she's had in ages.
Maybe that's
Like,
just.
come on.
Hopefully, that's not sarcasm.
She would never be sarcastic. Please don't post your answers in the chat. Please don't do that. No answers,
no
please.
answers in the chat
No
until
answers.
the very end, please.
Oh dear, we're losing. Second question is, we've got to keep people going here. Second question is,
Ooh.
Can you read it?
According to Forbes, which entrepreneur became the first person in history to have a net worth of more than $200 billion?
First entrepreneur to become the first person in history to have net worth of more than $200 billion. Who was it? Write it down. Question 3. Some of you ladies should get this. Which home furnishing retailer closed all of its stores for good in April 2020?
Question 4. Who said tomorrow will be a good day?
In 2020, who said tomorrow will be a good day? They're famous for saying it now. Not George Taylor. He does say things like that. He's very positive. But this question 5, Zara Tindall. Okay, she's one of the royal family.
Yeah.
She's married to Mike, and they announced in December that she's expecting their 3rd child. But what position is Zara in line of succession to be the queen of this country? Don't write your answers in here, Bev. Like, gosh, is anybody listening to me? It's like being at school. Zara Tindall, husband Mike, announced in December that they're expecting a 3rd child, but what position is Zara in line to be the queen of this country?
Correct.
What position in the league table is
So
she?
write your answers on a paper. You're going to post them all at the end so that we can keep a track of who's winning. We
Yes.
can't do it if you post odd ones.
I'll let you read question 6 because it's your favourite question.
Which 8 members of the royal family make up the Queen's new firm of senior royals? So we're looking for 8 names.
The Queen's got a new firm of senior royals. Who are those 8 people?
Might need to give them a minute to fill it.
Some people are
got to about 8
some
names
people
now.
are apologising for Bev Adjemang on here because
She does this at school.
she put an answer on here, but we love you, Bev. We just miss hanging out with people like that, don't
Oh,
we?
it's rubbish. It is rubbish. I miss people.
So, like, when lockdown is eventually all over, what do you think we should do as a church? Like,
Party.
I think we should have
Obviously.
like a full-on street party in Chesterfield on Chatsworth Road,
Be amazing.
and if we had 2 things, a drink and some food, what would it be?
I reckon.
I've got it sorted.
Go on then. You
I think we should have a soup party, a soup street party with. Go on.
Well, I don't know because I don't drink tea or coffee still.
We should have espresso and soup
Yeah, because you
as a
want
party.
like a
Espresso and soup. I think that's got a real good feel to it. Espresso and soup, sweet pop.
I think donuts.
Question 7. Which country in 2020 was due to host the Eurovision Song Contest?
People still watch that?
This is the quiz of all quiz. Rob Bartle thinks we should have Big Macs, a street party with Big Macs.
I am so in for that.
And the good thing is Rob Bartle lives on the same street as the church as well. I'll not give his address away, but he does live on the same street.
Yeah, like it's.
But just imagine
the whole of
Chatsworth Road. 2,000 people on Chatsworth Road. How good is this, Caleb? Right? 2,000 people, 3,000 people on Chatsworth Road, just celebrating that we pulled together, got through this thing, and everybody's eating a Big Mac.
I love Big Macs.
That would be classic.
I think I might need a Big Mac on my own.
Oh, I think we do.
Question 8. Who is the only woman shortlisted? Who was the only woman shortlisted for the 2020 BBC Sports Personality of the Year Award? So some of you ladies should get this because you're passionate about.
That's like
winning.
one of your favourite things to watch in December, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't watch it though.
I know, you very rarely. You have to watch it on catch up usually.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it because this year somebody that was nominated for it said he didn't want to be in it, and I was like, that's a bit boring.
Yeah.
So
forget it then, pal.
Forget it. Question 9.
Right.
Question 9. I think somebody will get this right.
Which film did Sean Connery win his one and only Oscar for?
Sean Connery. Sean Connery.
I'm not very good at doing voices.
I'm not.
So
I can do my Welsh one better, boyos.
I'm not sure you can really. And question 10 is Renee Zellweger won Best Actress at the 2020 Oscars for her portrayal of which legendary American actress?
Zellweger, Best Actress, 2020 Oscars for who was she pretending to be? Is my interpretation of the question. There we go. So
that's the quiz of all.
That was the quiz of all quizzes. It was amazing.
I hope we didn't bore you too
much. Put
Some
some hearts, some little emojis in chat somewhere on one of these devices that you're on, just to say that was definitely the quiz of all quizzes. It was brilliant. I think we lost a few viewers on YouTube.
Yeah, we sure did.
People, I'm disappointed. Some people have been watching on YouTube and they've dropped off.
I mean, I must admit,
to watch.
Well, I'm not sure.
I want to know what people have dropped off to watch.
I think it's the quiz. A quiz puts me off. So I'm like, I can't do this.
If you have flitted between us and TV, please tell us what we're competing with. We need to know the TV programs that we compete with, because every night we're committed for the next, let's just say for the next few weeks. Probably, I'd like to say it's not for the next few months, but
And apparently, some of our church have got a life group tonight. So that's where they've gone.
So they should have. James Clifford's life group. James, that is a good answer. James is on life group. Well done.
So let's do the answers. Are we doing answers now, or do you want to do something else?
We could do. Should we do the answers now? So what I want you to do is, if you've got, I know somebody said they missed question 3 and 4. Question 3 was which home furnishing retailer closed all of its stores for good? For good. Not just temporarily, they did it for good in April 2020. And who famously said last year, tomorrow will be a good day, and it's not Brian Houston, just if there's any church boffins out there, it's not him. So that was it, the quiz of all quiz. There's even,
I think you should say.
So back in the day, we were brought up in this church many, many years ago, and my old church pastor, who moved to America, I think he's moving back to the country.
He's back.
So he's watching Keith Tipple. So good to see Keith.
Good to see you.
Glad that a few little connections. Joining with different people in the room. We're all over the place here.
So if you've just joined us, we have
somebody's dropped us apparently for EastEnders at some point.
Rude.
That must be criminal.
We've just done a quick quiz and we're just going to give out the answers. But if you've just joined us, stick with us because we've got loads of other stuff coming up.
Stick with us.
We're just going to give you the answers.
And what we'll do is we'll read the question, give you the answer, and then just jot the answers down and just.
And then just tell us how. Yeah, just tell us how many you've got right.
Just cheat.
Just put a number in how many you've got right.
So here you go. The first UK lockdown was announced officially on
March the 23rd.
March the 23rd, 2020. The second question was, according to Forbes, which entrepreneur became the first person in history to have a net worth more than $200 billion, which is similar, I guess, to my turnover every year. Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon. There you go.
And which home furnishing retailer closed all its stores for good in April 2020? It was Cath Kidston. Cath Kidston closed
Cecilia's on there as well.
all its stores.
Cecilia.
It's very good to see you.
I have not seen Cecilia. If you wanted Cecilia, I've not seen her for a long time.
A long time.
It's good to see them, kind of.
So, question 4. Who said tomorrow will be a good day?
Who said it? Not Brian Houston, not DJ McPhail.
Bev, you got this right. It was Sir Captain Tom Moore.
The now very honourable Sir Captain Tom Moore.
So Zora Tiddle's husband Mike announced in December she's expecting their 3rd child. What position is Zora in the line of succession? She is 18th in line to the crown.
To be the queen. Let's be real. She ain't gonna be the queen, is she?
No, that's why she's like living a life. She's living a best life.
18th. Like what? Is that not like a bit demoralising if you're 18th in line to be the queen?
Nobody wants to do it.
And can you rank up? Can you like get to 15th? Or
no,
14th?
only when people die.
Right, okay.
You have to bump
So,
people up.
like if you did a good deed, you don't get to...
No, I don't go like that. Because that's not how it works.
Okay.
So, which 8 members of the royal family make up the Queen's new firm of senior royals? So obviously there's the Queen, there's Prince Charles, you've got the Duchess of Cornwall.
Otherwise known as Camilla.
Camilla, I was going to say that. Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, Princess Anne, Prince Edward, and Sophie, Countess of Wessex.
The Countess of Wessex. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody got all those 8, I'd be mega amazed. Number 7, the country that was going to host this year's Eurovision Song Contest, which is the worst programme on television, probably, in my personal opinion. I'm allowed opinions because it's my show.
I think you might get some hate mail about
was the Netherlands. Netherlands was meant to be hosting it. The only woman to be shortlisted for the 2020 BBC Sports Personality of the Year last year was Holly Doyle. Extra point if you know what sport she does. Which film did Sean Connery win his one and only Oscar for?
I can't believe he's only got one. I'm quite surprised about that.
Well, it obviously means it was a very good actor, I guess.
Savage. The answer is The Untouchables. I don't even know what that is.
People saying they love the Eurovision. Gosh, come on. The Untouchables. Yeah, that was question 9.
I told you to lose loads of friends now.
And question 10. Renée Zellweger won Best Actress at the 2020 Oscars for the portrayal of which legendary American actress that I've never watched a film with her in?
Judy Garland.
Judy Garland.
Judy Garland. So that is the end of our quiz. So now what we want you to do is post the number that you got right.
The quiz of all quizzes, remember this
so
is
you need
as well.
to put like 5 out of 10 or whatever. Actually, it's not out of 10 because are you giving them like a mark for each one of these answers?
Not
So
really. Yeah, we can do, yeah.
So yeah, you need to.
So put your answers there. Good to see Fasayo just joined, and good to see my referee friend on here as well, JO444. Are you no football games today? He's a linesman referee. Does a lot.
So it'll be out of 18, won't it?
18.
Yeah.
I'm interested in football. Sarah's not, but that's
not all.
Somebody said here, Sean Connery. Sexiest man ever.
Wow.
This is on Wednesday night conversation.
Come on.
We should talk about
this
that
is live
one
TV.
We should talk about that one week, because did you not say that was me?
Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So actually, sorry about that. He wasn't. Sarah told me it was me. There you go. Never mind.
So we need the adjudicator to keep an eye on the scores.
Fasao got 10 out of 10, and he only joined about
18,
1 minute ago.
10 out of 18.
10 out of 18. 5 out of 18, Adam Wheatley. Well done, Adam. Good man. 10 out of 18 for Lucy. Most of this is the Royals question. Well done. That's why we put that question there for you to get all them right. So we're looking for a 10. 10 is the top. Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who did?
George has got 12. Come on, George. 12 out of 10. How can you have got 12 out of 10, Lily? You can't have got 12 out of 10. 12 out of 18. So let us know in there. Also, I still want to know, because we've only got a number of minutes we've only got a number of minutes left. We're going to finish. We've got a little bit of a debate that we want to have. Hopefully it's going to be helpful. A little bit of a conversation. But also let me know. This is my key question. What have you been flicking between tonight? Between YouTube, Instagram, and what on TV have you been watching? I want to know what the competition is week in, week out. We're back. We were popular back in the spring and summer, and we've got to somehow get the...
we should be more popular in the winter because people are inside the homes. It's pretty
We've got to get the ratings up there somehow. So help us. Any ideas? Anybody want to see on here in the next few weeks? We've got some sports people going to be on here. We have, yeah. We've got a few famous people that are going to be on here. Hopefully.
Famous people?
Yeah, famous people.
Actual famous people?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I know people that own bakeries.
I know people.
Like if somebody owns a bakery, is that famous?
Yeah, it is interesting.
Exactly. Come on, see. Now we've got different people going to be joining, and we'll see where it goes. What are you saying, Lily?
I'm saying Caleb gave the answers.
Caleb's been giving answers around to people apparently. So there'll be
It's such a little cheater.
So I guess the whole thing about this going forward is we keep posting your scores on here. Let us know because we want to kind of keep it engaging. Sure. But it kind of brings about just this quick conversation we want to have you with. As people keep dropping on here, and you might be like, what on earth are these guys going out? Every week, 8 o'clock, we're going to be on here on a Wednesday night doing some fun stuff, interviewing some people, talking about some topical things, but most of all, just trying to have a bit of a smile moment. We're trying to just gather together on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and just get together. That's the idea.
That's the whole point.
Now this is a genuine, we've got a little bit of an issue here, with each other, don't we?
That's a bit extreme. I don't know if it's an
we
issue.
Clash a little bit about it.
Do we?
Yeah, we do a little bit. We clash about this thing of having a routine or living by a rhythm. Do you want to try and explain it a little bit? Do you think you can?
So, obviously, what you want me to explain? What routine or rhythm? The difference between them?
Yeah, just where we're at with it.
Well, so a routine is the external action, and a rhythm is your internal behaviours. So, for instance, how would I explain that?
So for instance,
I would say if I exercise, I really like to exercise in the morning. I like to get up, I like to, throw on my gym stuff, get the exercise done, go for a run first thing in the morning, and that's me. That is my rhythm. That's what suits me better. Whereas for you just can't do that, do you? You just really don't like exercising in the morning, do you?
No, because I'm tired usually.
So your rhythm is more of an evening. You like to go in an evening. Whereas for me, you throw on your gym, your running things and go out in the dark at 5:30, and I'm I could not think of anything worse. First thing in the morning, I'm sets me up for the day.
So our talking point really, a challenge for people, for you guys is one of the reasons we're doing this, the reason why church is still able legally, believe this or not, church is still legally allowed to be open, fully sticking to strict guidelines. It's super strict. It's almost painful to do it because we have no contact with anybody apart from running a service from the front, which is brilliant. If you did want to come along and try that, you have to book it online and reserve a ticket. But one of the big things really is about keeping our health good during these challenging times. The word unprecedented, everybody keeps saying unprecedented, but one of my biggest gripes is where I guess we don't look after ourselves and we don't change the way that we behave, because it's a changing time. Everything's changed, the world's changed, literally.
Everything we do is changed.
We can't, there's not much we can do at present.
No.
So if we stick to routines, if all we do is stick to routines,
it's hard, isn't it? Because
I think that's pretty dangerous to stay in routine, but you do need routine.
It's a contentious issue, isn't it? Because routine, people thrive on a routine, but at present, it's actually quite, it's limiting, and it's if you can't fulfil that normal routine because of the way things are, you become frustrated and actually quite can get yourself quite down. And so actually the routine then becomes like something that's really harmful. So a routine should always serve you, not the other way around. So like you should never be serving your routine, it should be the other way around. And I think in this season, as we're locked down and things are very difficult, I think if you are living to serve your routine, you're going to come unstuck and you're actually going to, it's going to become...
One of the
really
things
hard.
that's different and difficult about this particular lockdown, which is why as a church we are making a huge effort now to do all sorts of different things to connect with people. Pretty much there's something on every single day online that you'll be able to engage with. But one of the things that people have been saying to me personally is it was better in April and May. The lockdown was better March, April and May because the weather was good.
Yeah.
So alright, I get it. Vitamin D really helps us. We need vitamin D, we need sunlight.
So if you're not taking supplements, you need to.
So yeah,
Just
so
throw that in there.
maybe we need to take vitamin D.
That's something we've really changed. Like I know, like I get up in the morning, I've got like all these tablets to take. Like this, you know, I've got like a little pile of tablets to take.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to we've changed that.
So my thing is this,
Rhythm.
and keep back to me on this, people. Like if this is unreasonable, but why can we not do the same things that were good for our health that we did in March, April, and May? Why can we not do them now? I think the reason is because we get stuck in a routine.
Yeah.
Because as soon as it goes dark, we shut the curtains
Yeah.
and we stay in the house. Whereas back in March, April, May, the streets, I don't mean they were full because we live in Chesterfield at the end of the day, but the streets were
Busy.
socially distant but busy.
Yeah.
The back streets, not shopping. I'm not talking about going to like places of interest. I'm on about
Yeah,
general
just
streets.
walking.
You would see families walking the streets, like getting exercise, etc. But now people, we shut the curtains, we stick to routine, but the rhythm would actually say that is like
Still important.
it's still important,
Yeah.
but we get trapped in routine. And one of the things we really want to I suppose encourage is like let's be a little bit more flexible and not so stuck in routine. Like, would it really hurt to have your mealtime later one day because you've been out for a walk previous to it with your family? If you're on your own, like rather than have your set mealtime, why not arrange to see somebody socially distant, arrange it to go for essential exercise, essential mental health exercise, arrange to see somebody, but rather than say, well, that's normally my dinner time, well, that's normally the time that I do this, like, be flexible.
I think flexibility is
and break the
key,
routine
yeah.
a little bit.
And, you know, I think we all need to learn to be a little bit more flexible in all areas of our lives, I think. And actually, it's like anything, isn't it? Like, actually, physically, if we flex a muscle and keep flexing that muscle, it becomes stronger, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so actually, if we learn to become more flexible, we're gonna get stronger. Like, our ability to be flexible is gonna get better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and one of the things like Wendy's highlighting on here about the fact that this time round you're working is something like we jotted down just as a notebook. Like, it is really difficult, I think, this time. The weather, the time of year, darkness, busyness probably of work, like for all of us, generally most people are relatively busy. Like having work, homeschooling, deadlines, pressures, the necessity of having meals, etc. I think all those things are really important things to have in our routine. But all I'm saying to people is we've got to do what's right to look after ourselves, which might mean breaking routine and just doing something a little bit more spontaneous.
Yeah, I think that's what's missing. I think that's what's missing in this season. There's no opportunities to be spontaneous. Well, there are. There are loads of opportunities, but we choose not to see them, because when we think of doing something spontaneous, we think of going out for lunch, or, you know, meeting a friend for a meal, or, you know, going on a shopping trip, or let's nip to Meadowhall, all those kinds of things. But actually, there are loads of opportunities to be spontaneous, and I think that's what we all need. I think we need some spontaneity in our lives, because it changes things. So, you know, even like as daft as it sounds, but like, you know, you make tea, but actually set it up like a restaurant, or, you know, do some really weird, quirky things that would make it feel different. So it's not just sitting at the dining table where you've done your work all day, or, you know, it's like changing it up. It's like being creative as well.
And like people are saying, don't be so hard on yourself.
Absolutely.
So like homeschooling, not that I'm not Mr. Williamson, the head of education, etc. And if you're homeschooling your kids, it can be so frustrating. Like it can be really, really difficult. But like, don't put so much pressure on yourself. I could get scolded for saying this. I could get scolded for saying this, but the next 3 months of a child's life, I don't think will determine their destiny, their future.
I mean, Wendy posted this amazing post a few weeks ago about a child that had lived through, I think it was the Bosnian War, correct me if I'm wrong, but they'd actually relocated to this country, and this article, this post was just saying that, you know, missed, I think it's 3 years of school, all these things, but actually now as an adult they've got a degree, they've got a brilliant job, you know, all these things, and actually, you know, in the big scheme of things, these next few months, although it's important to make sure that our children are educated and all those things, just don't be so hard on yourselves.
Like, so if I went just for 1 minute and I just threw the Bible in there to you. So there's this amazing little passage, as we're coming close to the end here. Not the end of life, hopefully, but just the end of this.
Drastic.
Sounded like really doom and gloom, like we're coming close to the end. But like there's this. If you've got a Bible and you manage to have a look at it, but in Luke 10, there's this encounter where Jesus goes to this lady's home. Luke 10 verse 40. Jesus goes to this lady's home. There's 2 people in the home. There's Mary and there's Martha. And this is where we have a little bit of our contention, is because Martha, in my opinion, was caught up in her cleaning schedule, her cleaning routine. Jesus turned up at the house. She's busy. She's cleaning, she's tidying, she's getting everything right, she's getting it all prepared. She's like busy in the moment. Whereas Mary just sits down and listens to him. And I think I think to myself, what would happen if that happened to me? We could easily get caught up in, I'm sorry, but I'm just busy at present. If you can come back at 7:30, we'll have a chat. But it's 6 o'clock and I'm doing the dinner, and straight after dinner I've got this to do. And I think sometimes we just need to be able to break out a routine, to allow ourselves just to, not, routine is good, but sometimes just have that moment where we go, there's something else, we've got an opportunity here, it's stopped raining, let's go out, let's go and grab a walk, let's go and grab some fresh air, let me give somebody a FaceTime call and I'll get dinner later.
And listen, like, it's simple, you know. If you've got young kids at home and you're doing homeschooling, we take our hats off to you because we know that it's hard. You know, we've got teenagers, so it's a little bit different.
Take your hats off to me, I've got 2 teenagers.
I know it's hard. It is hard, I'll be honest. But you know, like, I think Susie just mentioned, it's a great time to learn important life skills. Absolutely, what a brilliant time for us to teach our kids. So one of the things that I used to do with our kids when they were little is we used to sort washing. Right, this sounds really funny, but we used to sort the washing out. So I'd get different laundry baskets, and I used to empty all the washing, and they used to have to throw it into the baskets in colours. So that was like, we used to make a game of it. So we'd sort the colours out so they knew what colours were what, and then the person that got the most in would be able to load it into the washing machine.
Oh,
I just thought it was brilliant. Now listen to this, like, my kids are 14 and 16, and I don't do any of their washing. They do it all themselves.
I do it all. No.
They are fully capable of sorting the colours, putting the washing in, getting it dry, folding it, and putting it away. And that is like just from learning a life skill. So maybe in this next few weeks, you can just teach your little kids some things like that. You know, how to sort the washing, how to put the washing machine on, how to load the dishwasher. Just simple things, but actually, you know, bake a cake. So like, make that into a lesson for them. So many things you can do.
So what we're trying to say
opportunities to be spontaneous.
It's really important to have a routine during lockdown because you're busy at work, lots of commitments to do, it's really important to have a routine. Recognise the rhythms that you have in your life, the things that do you good, things that benefit you and your family, or we could go on about this for ages, but things like, for us, my parents live 2 miles away from us, but we'll go, before we have dinner, we know we've got to squeeze it in, but we'll walk to our parents, which is probably an hour and a half's round trip, I guess, by the end of it.
Yeah.
And then have dinner afterwards, just on that one occasion, just to give opportunity to see our parents, to connect with them, stand at the doorstep, walk straight back.
Yeah.
And it's so like, be flexible about maybe a meal time this week. Just if you were to pick on one of these things, maybe just be flexible about a meal time. Maybe have one day where you work smarter for a shorter period of time to give yourself an easier evening. Maybe make space for some real rest. However that works out for you, we could say a lot about that. Allow your plans to change. Don't panic when your plans change, and do something this week. Like, do something spontaneous. Like, be really reckless and go for a late night essential walk, or
Right.
I said to my kids, what would be really crazy at this time? And they said, like, wouldn't it be? It's just cool. The things they love is like when we just say, let's order, because we have to do it that way now. We used to go to McDonald's, but like it's 8:30, 9:30,
Order a
10
Macca's.
o'clock. Like, just order a McFlurry, but just do something spontaneous. And please, 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 in this season, we must look after ourselves. It's really important that you and your family, you look after yourselves, but you've got to have a balance between routine and rhythm, because I know there used to be a song that said the rhythm is going to get you, but I think routine really does lock us down, and it causes us to stick to routine, and it'll dry us out in the season. And we've got to stay buoyant, because the sunshine's coming, the lighter nights are coming,
And listen, you don't want to look back on this time with negative memories. You want to look back on this time as a time when you created the most amazing memories. You know, like, creating memories is super important. And you don't want to look back and say, oh, we maintained this wonderful routine, but actually you want to look back and say we created some amazing
no one's
memories.
going to give you a badge for being the best, superest person during lockdown. Nobody will give you a badge for being the greatest parent during lockdown.
It's true.
And we just need to learn how to have a balance, is what our conviction is, and that's why we wanted to talk about it. But we said it's quite contentious because we differ a little bit on it, but we try to work it out together to ensure.
Because I'm a Martha, and you're probably the Mary.
I'd be like, listen, Jesus is in the house, I'm sitting down to listen to
Whereas
him.
I'd be like, oh, Jesus in the house, tidy up, get ready, make a meal, make sure everybody's looked after. And
So, have a conversation with somebody
Teamwork.
around you and see whether you're Mary or you are a Martha. I think we've tried to answer questions that people have chucked on there as well. I don't know if anybody's got a specific question that you want us to answer tonight. You could drop that in. We've got literally just a few minutes, but we're going to be on every single Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
wow, so lucky.
We're going to try and make it fun. If we could have more people in the building, we will do that. We can't really say that this is classed as essential worship. So it's just us two, and maybe the kids, if we can really bend their arms to get on it one week. But we are going to be getting some guests to drop in. I've got a few ideas tonight as well from some of the people that have been on here. We're going to get you involved. Does Sarah have a workout plan?
So I'll just answer that really quick. So I've been suffering with sciatica. So at present I can't do a lot of exercise. I'm just doing a lot of the exercises that the physio has given me. But I found this, Dan Hutton put me onto this amazing woman. She's like a crazy cat lady. And she's called Paula B on YouTube. And I do a lot of her videos for the over 50s. And for people with sciatica. The kids are laughing their heads off because I said she's like a crazy cat woman. It's like, yeah, she is, but she's brilliant, and it's really, really helping my back. So that's what I do. I try and do that every day because that's really important to
Good.
my back recovery.
And exercise isn't all about like being super fit. At the end of the day, your body changes so much over the years.
Yes.
Being fit really is about being fit here. I'd much rather have a balance of both of those two than just being, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's not just about get out walking, I don't know,
Do something.
do yoga, practice yoga, I don't know if you can stretch well.
Flexible.
But
Be
yeah.
flexible.
And Bev was asking about self-care. I really think in this season, one of the things we should do is we should try and read, engage with some stuff, and I think that's really important to expand our minds a little bit. I think FaceTime and using, I've got another, like phones. Stop using your phone. Social media wasn't the reason for a phone. A phone was always for a phone call. An actual phone call. We
Now
go
there's
back in
a
the day, we used to
Do you
dial
do
up,
that
we
for a
used to do this.
phone or that for a phone?
But like,
Because I won't do that.
but like, come on people, we remember we're pushing the other people up here. Pick your phone up and ring somebody. Like, liking the picture on Instagram makes their ego good, or makes my ego feel better for a moment. But a conversation with you is way better. So let's get back to good old fashioned phones. Let's do some stuff in this season to really help some other people.
And I might just want to say, get yourself to church.
Well, the offer's there. The offer's there.
Being in church is it's a brilliant thing, and it's such a privilege to be able to still be open at this time. And we're super safe. We are, really careful. Everyone is wearing a mask, and it's literally like an hour and a half once a week. It's not like
an hour and a half.
Yeah, but to get here and get out and everything, it's less than an hour and a half a week, and everything's sanitised. It's probably the safest place to be, way safer than a supermarket. So, it's a great chance to just be with other people, to be in the presence of God, and actually to be in an environment of worship. So, get yourself to church on Sunday, book in, you will not be disappointed, I promise.
Yeah. Make a phone call, make a FaceTime call, break a routine. Somebody please tonight order a McDonald's McFlurry. Send us a picture a bit later to say we've done.
Or send us
done
one, that'd be
McFlurries.
better. Mind you, we could end up with loads, that would be bad.
Yeah.
Who was the winner of the quiz?
Did we get a winner of the quiz?
George Taylor is the winner
Is
of
the
our
winner
quiz.
of the quiz. Thanks for being on here, George. Thanks for not going back to Loughborough and staying in Chesterfield, because it means you'll be in the band for a few weeks now as well.
And John Crute's on. Good to see you, John.
John Crute is on as well, who is, believe it or not, the man that has helped to restore Chesterfield Football Club. Dylan
On
asked,
the up.
there was a question on here earlier from Dylan asking, will Chesterfield get promoted this season? I think they will get into the playoffs and have a possible chance of getting promoted. That's the hope.
Well, listen, thank you for joining us, and we hope that you've enjoyed Wednesday night conversations with the Hollingworths.
8 o'clock.
And we'll see you next Wednesday
At
at
8
8
o'clock. Keep smiling, make somebody else smile, tell a joke, post a joke, I don't know, do something to keep people enthused. And remember, break some routines and look after yourself.
Create some memories.
People,
That's what you need to do.
my dad always told me, look after yourself because maybe nobody else will. So make sure you look after yourselves. You guys, you're all legends. Thanks
We'll
for your
see you
support.
next week.